The U.S. has struck another alleged drug boat in the Pacific, killing 2 people. U.S. Southern Command posted this video of the attack on social media.
September 18th, 2025, 3:47 a.m. local time, northern Venezuelan coast. The water is black, the shoreline invisible against the moonless sky. But 240 miles offshore, inside the Joint Intelligence Fusion Center at Naval Station Mayport, Florida, silence is never accidental. On the wall-sized display screen, a thermal signature pulses red against cold blue water. The analyst leans forward, stylus hovering over the track. Contact Delta 7, she calls out quietly. Activity spike at target site. Increased vessel movement. The watch commander crosses the room in 3 strides. Time-stamped imagery flickers across his screen. Drone feeds, satellite passes, electronic intercepts, all converging on a single coordinate, a coastal inlet 40 miles west of La Guaira. What was empty mangrove 2 months ago is now something else entirely. Wooden piers extending 200 feet into protected water, prefabricated structures half hidden under camouflage netting. And tonight, for the first time, boats. 5 of them, narrow hulls, no lights, engines idling in formation. The commander doesn't hesitate. Escalate to SOUTHCOM. This is actionable. Within the hour, secure channels light up across 3 time zones. Key West, Tampa, Washington. The intelligence package moves fast. Overhead imagery, signal intercepts. Financial intelligence linking shell companies to known cartel infrastructure. And the critical piece, confirmation that this facility isn't for fishing. It's a narcotics forward operating base. A logistics hub designed to stage high-speed drug runs straight into international waters, built in secret, operational within weeks, and tonight, fully active. At 5:15 a.m., the authorization comes through. Clear, direct, and unambiguous. Neutralize the facility, minimize collateral exposure, document everything. The mission falls to assets already in theater. A guided missile destroyer operating under Operation Martyr Shield, the Caribbean's most aggressive counter-narcotics campaign in a generation. And 90 miles south, flying dark over the open ocean, an MQ-9 Reaper drone. Silent, invisible, and already locked onto target coordinates. This isn't surveillance anymore. This is kinetic action. And for the traffickers loading bales onto those boats, the night is about to become something they never planned for. 5:43 a.m., the Reaper drone holds station at 18,000 feet, circling in slow, patient arcs above the Venezuelan coastline. From this altitude, the world is rendered in shades of gray and white, thermal bloom from engines, the geometric lines of man-made structures against organic coastline, and movement, always movement. The sensor operator aboard the ground control station at Creech Air Force Base, Nevada, zooms tighter. The feed sharpens. 5 vessels are now fully loaded. Deck crews move between the boats and a central warehouse structure. Packages pass hand to hand, methodical, efficient, rehearsed. This isn't their first night. The drone's synthetic aperture radar paints the entire compound in high definition. Pier, warehouse, fuel depot, 2 guard towers, a dirt access road snaking back into the jungle. Everything is logged. Everything is recorded. The mission isn't just to strike, it's to dismantle understanding. Over encrypted comms, the operations officer confirms final clearance. All row criteria met. No civilian vessels within 2 nautical miles. No populated structures within the blast radius. Target is isolated. The pilot, seated thousands of miles away in the Nevada desert, adjusts the drone's heading by 2 degrees. The Reaper banks gently, repositioning for optimal weapon release geometry. Beneath its wings, a single AGM-114 Hellfire missile sits locked and loaded. Laser-guided, precision-targeted, built for exactly this kind of mission. The sensor operator marks the aim point, not the boats, not the personnel, the warehouse, the heart of the operation. Without it, the boats have nowhere to load. Without it, the entire facility collapses into uselessness. Laser designator active, the operator confirms, target painted. The commander's voice comes through calm and final. cleared hot. At 5:51 a.m., the missile releases. There's no sound, no recoil, just a clean separation as the Hellfire drops away from the pylon and ignites. It accelerates instantly, arcing downward through the pre-dawn darkness. Guidance fins adjust in microsecond intervals, steering toward the invisible laser dot marking the warehouse roof. Below, the traffickers have no idea what's coming. No radar warning, no engine noise, no time to react. One smuggler stands near the warehouse entrance, cigarette glowing in the darkness. He's counting bales, clipboard in hand, when the sky tears open above him. The Hellfire covers the distance in seconds. On the drone feed, the warehouse is centered perfectly in frame. Then it vanishes. The explosion is surgical and devastating. The entire structure erupts in a brilliant white flash. Walls disintegrate. The roof collapses inward. Secondary explosions ripple outward as fuel stores ignite. Flames leap 40 feet into the air, turning night into day. The shockwave rolls across the water, rocking the boats violently against the pier. Debris rains down, burning wood, shredded netting. Packages tumbling into the shallows, splitting open on impact. The man with the clipboard is thrown 20 feet backward, landing hard in shallow water. His ears ring, his vision blurs. When he looks up, the facility he helped build over 2 months is simply gone. On the thermal feed, the scene transforms instantly. What was cold and organized becomes chaos and heat. Figures scatter in every direction. Boats lurch away from the pier, engines screaming. One vessel runs aground immediately, its hull tearing open on submerged rocks. Another circles uselessly, its helmsman blinded by smoke and fire. A third boat manages to clear the inlet, throttle wide open, wake churning white behind it. The Reaper continues its orbit, silent and detached. Cameras capture every second. The entire facility is burning now. The guard towers are abandoned. The fuel depot sends a secondary fireball climbing into the sky, so intense it registers on satellite imagery 400 miles above. And the boats, those 5 vessels loaded with millions in contraband, are fleeing in panic, scattering into open water with no plan and no coordination. They think they've escaped. They haven't even seen what's waiting. 6:02 a.m., the coastal inlet is a smoldering ruin. Smoke rises in thick black columns, visible for miles against the gray morning light. The warehouse is gone, reduced to skeletal framework and ash. The pier is half collapsed, pilings shattered by the blast, and the boats, 3 of them made it to open water. The other 2 sit crippled in the shallows, one on fire, the other listing heavily to starboard, cargo spilling into the surf. But this operation was never about one missile. It was about what comes next. 28 miles offshore, the USS Chancellorsville, a Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser, has been holding station since midnight. On her bridge, the tactical action officer watches the drone feed in real time. The strike was clean. The facility is destroyed, but the runners are still moving, and they're heading straight into his area of responsibility. Bridge, CIC. We have 3 fast movers departing the target zone. Bearing 112, speed increasing, estimated 30 knots and climbing. The commanding officer steps to the viewport, binoculars already in hand. Understood, launch the Hellos, both of them. Within minutes, 2 MH-60R Seahawks lift off the flight deck, rotors hammering the humid air. They split formation immediately, one banks north, the other south. Their mission is simple: find the runners, stop them, and recover whatever's left. The lead helicopter drops to 200 feet, skimming the wave tops. Its forward-looking infrared sensor locks onto the first vessel almost immediately. A narrow go-fast, twin outboards, riding low and heavy in the water. The boat is pushing hard, but it's not built for endurance. It's built for short, desperate sprints, and it's already losing speed. Smoke trails from one engine. The hull vibrates violently. Over the radio, the pilot transmits. Venezuelan vessel, this is U.S. Navy aircraft. Heave to immediately. You are under observation in international waters. The boat doesn't slow. It turns sharply, trying to break the intercept angle. The Seahawk adjusts instantly, dropping lower, closer. The helicopter's rotor wash kicks up spray, flooding the boat's cockpit. The helmsman loses control for half a second, and that's all it takes. The warning shot comes next. Controlled burst. Rounds strike the water 15 meters off the bow. The impacts are loud, violent, unmistakable. White geysers erupt. The message is clear. The boat's engines choke. Smoke pours from the stern. The vessel slows, wallowing in the swell. Hands rise above the cockpit, empty, shaking. The chase is over. The second helicopter intercepts its target 6 miles further out. This crew is more desperate. They dump cargo overboard, package after package splashing into the ocean. White bricks bob in the wake, floating evidence of panic. The Seahawk matches every turn, every acceleration. There is no escape vector, same profile, same warning, same result. The third boat runs the longest. Its helmsman is skilled, experienced. He zigzags hard, forcing the helicopter to adjust continuously. He cuts close to a cargo freighter, hoping the larger ship's radar signature will provide cover. It doesn't. The Seahawk stays locked. The pilot's voice comes again, harder this time. Final warning, stop your vessel now. The helmsman looks up. He sees the helicopter. He sees the weapons. He sees the futility. The engines die. By 6:35 a.m., all 3 runners are dead in the water. Coast Guard fast boats from the Chancellorsville close in for boarding. The crews are detained without resistance. Zip-tied, searched, medically assessed. Not one of them speaks. They know what comes next. The cargo is secured. Bale after bale of tightly wrapped cocaine, waterlogged but intact. The count takes 20 minutes. 89 bales total, street value, over $127 million. In a single night, an entire smuggling network has been obliterated. The facility destroyed, the boats seized. The drugs recovered, the traffickers in custody, and every second of it recorded from multiple angles. Drone footage, helicopter sensors, ship-based cameras. This isn't just an operation. It's a prosecution package. 7:18 a.m., the sun breaks over the horizon, casting long shadows across the wreckage. Back on the Venezuelan coast, the fire has burned itself out. What remains is unrecognizable. Blackened pilings. Twisted metal, ash floating on the tide. Local authorities arrive hours later, cautious, silent. They find no bodies. The crews escaped into the jungle before the strike. But they find evidence. Shell casings, fuel drums stamped with cartel markings, GPS units with logged coordinates, and burned currency, thousands of dollars charred and worthless. Aboard the Chancellorsville, the detainees sit below decks, hands zip-tied, eyes down. They're not talking. They don't need to. The evidence speaks louder than any confession. One man, the youngest, stares at the bulkhead. He's 23. This was supposed to be his last run. Enough money to get out, to disappear. Instead, he's facing 20 years in a federal prison. In Washington, the operation is briefed within the hour. Clean strike, high-value target, no collateral damage, total disruption of a priority trafficking route. It's textbook. The Secretary of Defense nods. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs makes a note. Operation Martyr Shield just proved its concept. But the real impact won't be measured in bails or arrests. It'll be measured in silence. In the days that follow, chatter on encrypted cartel networks drops sharply, smuggling routes shift, schedules are delayed, logistics officers disappear. 3 cartel financiers in Medellin are executed by their own organizations. Failure has consequences, because this wasn't just an interdiction, it was a message. The United States doesn't just patrol international waters anymore. It strikes inland, it targets infrastructure, and it does so with a level of precision that leaves no room for miscalculation. For the traffickers who survived, who fled into the jungle and watched their operation burn, the lesson is brutal. You can build in secret, you can operate at night, you can load your boats in protected waters. But if the US decides you're a target, geography won't save you, darkness won't hide you, and when the hellfire comes, you won't hear it until it's too late. 8:15 a.m. Back at Mayport, the intelligence analyst who first flagged the facility closes her workstation. 12 weeks of tracking, hundreds of hours analyzing patterns, Satellite passes, signal intercepts, financial networks, it all led to this. One strike, one night, $127 million removed from circulation. She doesn't celebrate. This is just one node. There are others. There are always others. But for today, this route is closed. This facility is destroyed. This network is broken. The Venezuelan government issues no formal protest, no diplomatic complaint, no public acknowledgement. Because acknowledging the strike means acknowledging the facility, and acknowledging the facility means admitting complicity. So instead, there is silence. And in that silence, the real story is written. In the trafficking world, confidence is currency. Routes that work repeatedly become trusted. Infrastructure that stands becomes permanent. But when a facility is erased in minutes, when boats are intercepted with military precision, when there's no warning and no second chance, confidence evaporates. And without confidence, the entire system hesitates. 8:45 a.m. Aboard the Chancellorsville, the mission log is closed. Sensors return to routine scanning. The helicopters are refueled and secured. The detainees are transferred to Coast Guard custody for prosecution. The ship resumes its patrol track, engines steady, course unchanged. For the crew, this was one operation in a long campaign. But for the networks moving drugs north, it was something else entirely. It was proof that the rules have changed, that speed no longer guarantees survival, that isolation no longer offers protection, and that the US military, when authorized, doesn't just interdict, it eliminates. In Miami, DEA analysts correlate the seized cargo with ongoing investigations. The chemical signatures match shipments intercepted in 3 other operations over the past 6 months. Same source, same cartel, same supply chain, now broken. In Caracas, a meeting takes place in a high-rise office. No names. No recordings, just quiet fury. Someone authorized that facility. Someone promised it was secure. Someone was wrong. And in the world they operate in, being wrong is terminal. The facility cost $4 million to build. The lost cargo was worth $127 million, but the real cost is strategic. Every smuggler now knows that coastal operations, no matter how hidden, are vulnerable, that drones see in the dark, that missiles arrive without warning, that escape is an illusion. So here's the question. Should these kinds of strikes happen more often, or do they risk escalating tensions in a region already on edge? Some will argue this is overreach, that strikes on foreign soil, even against criminal infrastructure, set dangerous precedents. Others will say this is exactly what's needed, decisive action that doesn't wait for drugs to reach American streets. The debate matters, but so do the results. Tonight, $127 million in cocaine won't flood into American cities. 8 traffickers will face justice. 1 smuggling route is permanently closed. And somewhere along the Caribbean coast, cartel logistics officers are redesigning their operations with one new variable they can't ignore. The United States is watching, and when it moves with precision. Drop your take below, and if you want more real operations like this, where the line between intelligence and action disappears in seconds, hit subscribe. You'll get early access, loyalty badges, and help keep stories like this breaking through the noise. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and remember, in modern warfare, the most dangerous weapon isn't the missile. It's the decision to use it. And tonight, that decision changed everything.